So Lobo is, I used to collect comics, and I don't do so much anymore, but he was always my favorite, and I'm like, always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's pretty, like, it's perfect role. I mean, listen, if they call me and ask me to play, it's yeah.
Jason Momoa is back in DC movies, but not as our friendly fish neighborhood Aquaman, but as the character that we have always wanted him to play as fans of the DC movies. Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. Thanks for joining the dudes. I'm your old pal Uncle. With me is Devin, and Taylor's back.
Hey,
he's back.
I'm here.
And we're here with all our other friends on YouTube that are doing videos about this, talking about this breaking news that Jason Momoa has been confirmed as taking on the role of Lobo, with his first appearance being in the new Supergirl movie, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, I believe the name is. This is big news because a lot of people, when he was cast as Aquaman, a lot of people that were DC fans, when they heard maybe that he was auditioning for something, and other videos have commented that before it was confirmed who he was cast as, everybody was like, "Oh, Lobo."
I mean, it's him. It's him in a comic book. It's the
most plug and play.
I mean, he doesn't even have to change anything.
Yeah, it's. The only reason we know Lobo wasn't created based on Jason Momoa is because of when the character was created. But this character, I maybe Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is the only other time a character.
Well, I feel like that one
actor,
wasn't as even as obvious, like from a visual perspective, as this one is. You know,
I totally agree. Totally agree. I think the added just. As far as somebody who could play Deadpool and do them really well, it just goes together. But man, the look, just the bro-tastic attitude that the guy has. I mean, he's the quintessential dude bro, right? And he's loud. He's
right.
Kind
of goofy.
He's loud. He's goofy. He can act obnoxious if you want him to.
Yeah.
He can be somebody that's endearing if you want him to. The reason he was successful as Aquaman, I think, is because of who he is as an actor, and not because he played the quintessential Aquaman.
Right.
But this is and the fact that when he tried out for Aquaman, he thought he was going to be Lobo.
Yeah.
Then promoting the box office flop Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, or whatever it was called. I still haven't seen that movie, by the way.
The second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have any of you seen it? No, I haven't.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I don't remember it.
I barely watched the first one.
That's why I was. Now I enjoyed.
How did it end?
Probably him being like, who'd be a good Lobo, because I know this movie stinks. But the guy was doing press for this movie, talking about how much he loved Lobo.
I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you about Lobo, because I know you've been eyeing that character for a while.
Well, I originally thought I was going to be playing Lobo in the very beginning, because I got called in. I got called in the office, and I was just like, "Well, do you know who you're going to play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Lobo."
Yeah.
Of course, he's the only one that can fight Batman and Superman. He's like, "What? Lobo?" I'm like, "No, he's not in this universe." I was like, "What? How am I supposed to play?"
Oh, that's funny.
And man, I wish he would have taped it, because he was like, "Aquaman." I'm like,
and that kind of confirms that, man, these talks.
Do you think he knew it all at
time.
that point, that it was a possibility?
I think he had a feeling. Well, because back in 2022. You may remember he put out an Instagram post that I can't tell you, but it's just the best news. And when it comes out, it's a dream come true. And this is amazing.
I don't remember that post.
And everybody thought he was talking about something to do with the DC movies. And, some speculated that, this is about Henry Cavill coming back or something like that. But now there's heavy speculation that he was talking about this role and getting it, because a lot of things had to happen probably to get it all lined up to where they could make this announcement. But anyway, big news for this. Devin, Taylor, comments, thoughts?
Taylor?
Well, so I mean, first of all, I'm behind on this. I didn't know there was a Supergirl movie coming out. I probably missed. What universe? Quick explain the universes, because I'm not even up to speed on the DCU, DCEU. DCU is.
You may not be the only one.
So yeah, that's a really good. But hey, Devin, why don't you take that?
Oh no, I'm going to mess this up.
Okay.
You don't have to go into detail. Just
no.
fly
So
over.
James
all the
Gunn,
details, name names, top deals.
So I'm going to
dates.
try to do it real fast. But basically, the DC EU that was created by Zack Snyder and all those guys, it's been scrapped. James Gunn has taken over completely for DC on film as kind of a Kevin Feige kind of person, and he has, he's doing this new Superman film, and that is establishing for all intents and purposes the new universe that they're building for DC. He did say that Peacemaker was canon, with the exception of the very last shot in Peacemaker, which I'm not sure how you do that. I'm not sure.
You can just make up
You're the
anything. You can be
creator.
like, yeah, this third scene in that, it's not. But
Right.
Fourth, it is.
Not sure how you do that. But and also, like, so does that mean that Suicide Squad wasn't?
I didn't even see that, honestly.
But I mean, either way.
The Suicide Squad. I think he said it was, or at least
did
some
he?
of it was.
Okay.
I think he
So
said some of
that's-
it was.
Yeah, I had not heard that yet. I wasn't sure. I knew he said Peacemaker, but I didn't know about Suicide Squad. But yeah, and so even in the comic books, they've poked fun at with Lobo dressing up as Aquaman.
You're right.
To kind of poke fun at the fact that that's who he should have been playing all along. I think the Samoan playing playing Aquaman, I think it was a neat idea, and maybe the whole idea of he hasn't become his kingly regal self yet. He never became that, even in the second movie.
Yeah.
And so I would submit that it's going to give them a chance to go the more traditional route, the Caucasian, blonde hair, regal kind of person that So my question would be, do you guys have any thoughts on who could fulfill that role?
Taylor, do you have anybody?
So I wonder how far back they're going to go, or where they're going to start in the timeline. Because
I want Hook. I want the fish hook hand.
You want the
Aquaman.
Justice League Unlimited?
That's what I
Aquaman.
want.
You want blonde mullet, angry goatee,
Yes.
and a hook for a hand, and be like, all you land dwellers. Well, basically, it's the same attitude that they tried to put into Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
But he just made it. He just didn't. I don't think he carried it, because like even in the comics, excuse me, I'm overcoming some symptoms over here. Even in the comics, he just got a little more grit when he got the hook, and I think that is cool. And while we don't want to go dark, I understand. I don't want to get away from a little grit, There's nothing wrong with superheroes being tough and a little rough around the edge. Well, not rough around the edges. That's the wrong
how
term.
was he in the comics? Was he more serious most of the time? Or because I feel like Flash was a little more jokey and,
I really think
because all of this to
think-
me plays into what actor,
Yeah, I think Justice League really so Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and all that, that played a big part in changing the dynamic of who Aquaman was. Oh, sorry, Justice League Unlimited, the cartoon. In case you don't know, I'm not talking about the Zack
Animated.
Snyder Justice League.
Animated series.
And then, you had when, what was it? When the New 52 came out, when DC Comics several years ago did a reboot, and Jim Lee was doing a lot of the artwork to get things started. That they really leaned heavily into the king, the king of the seas, Arthur, whatever his last name is. It just slipped my mind. I can't believe that. Arthur Curry. Yeah. So they really put him into a place of being this distrusting ally, right? And
which is interesting. It makes an interesting dynamic.
It does make an interesting dynamic. And when you have that, when you have the distrusting dynamic, the hopeful dynamic of Superman, the dynamic of Wonder Woman, that she's there to help with the greater good, but I've been here several millennia and you all screw it up every time. And then you have Batman that says, none of you should have this much power, but I'm here to keep you all in check. Those are interesting qualities to merge together. So it depends. Taylor, you made a great point where the way you said is, where in the timeline are they going to do it? And really the question is, to draw that out further from what you said, what timeline are they going to pick from? What is James Gunn? What are James Gunn and Peter Safran going to do with whomever they hire to work on the next Aquaman project, or when they bring in Aquaman to something else? Which character are they going to pull from the Golden Age, the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, or the Modern Age? And that, if you pull from like the Silver Age or something like that, or even the Super Friends age, you could get Devin. You had mentioned, I don't want to steal your thunder, but you had mentioned Glenn Powell.
Yeah, I mean, he's not impressed me a ton in anything he's done, but he's not bad. He's not bad. He's a decent actor. I think he could carry the role. And if I'm being honest, I wish that Chris Hemsworth he wasn't Thor. I think he would make honestly a really good Aquaman, but I don't want them to do that. I don't want recycle actors like that.
Yeah, it'd be good to get some fresh ones.
Yeah.
So, and one of my reasons I was asking is because if they went with a younger, and I don't know how anyone feels about this, but I'm just going to throw it out there, an actor I've liked recently, and I don't know how he'd do. I know he'd have to put on some muscle for it, but
that's what steroids are for, folks.
That's right.
Okay.
That's why I have drugs.
Show business,
right?
Timothy Chalamet. I like him as an actor.
I
don't know how he.
He's a great actor.
He's a small guy, and I feel like he could. I mean, in Dune, he's got he could do the whole regal thing and leader stuff. He might not look like, your classic blonde hair Aquaman, and also he's young, so that's why he just came to mind. I like him as an actor, and I don't think we've seen him as a superhero.
No, we've seen him as Willy Wonka, but that's it.
Well, and it lets you call Dune a superhero.
Well, yeah, but
that's close.
Jason, I really think, and I'm not going to, Devin, you're welcome to read through this article if you want to, but I don't think we're going
to. At this point, I'm sure everybody has at least read through one. You don't need us to rehash it for you.
So if you wanted to take that down so they can see My Beard, brought to you by Live Bearded.
If you haven't read that, pause the video and go read it if you want.
Hey, also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and click subscribe, like the video, comment below on what you think about the news about Jason being put into this perfect role. But yeah, definitely subscribe, because we're going to be cranking out more fun stuff like this. But I really think, regardless of who they get as Aquaman, this has the opportunity, and I'm just gonna say it, kind of like what Ryan Reynolds has made Deadpool, because now that they released Deadpool and Wolverine, it doesn't matter what happens with Captain America, A Brave New World. It doesn't matter what happens with Thunderbolts. None of those characters are going to be as recognizable or as fun, even though he's pretty filthy, as fun as Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is. And this anti-hero character is going to be the one that they're going to try to cram into everything if they're smart. Well, unless they're just like, no, keep going back and getting all the previous actors and making them different people, because now I don't want to get into another story, but they're going to bring Chris Evans back as somebody else. But anyway, we'll get to that in another video.
I didn't know that. What?
Yeah, we will talk about that another time.
I saw that recently.
They're grasping at straws. That's what they're doing.
Well, sure, because Deadpool and Wolverine was the only successful thing they've had in the last several years. But anyway, I really think, first of all, Lobo is going to steal the Supergirl movie. You mark my words. He's gonna, if they give him something good to work with.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa as this character, he's going to get all the funny stuff.
Yeah.
He's going to get all the fun stuff. He's going to get everything that's good in that movie. And then Supergirl is going to play unless he's the villain, which it wouldn't make sense to make him a villain if you're going to do a Lobo solo movie, because that's the other thing.
He's an anti-hero, yeah.
He's an anti-hero. So I don't think he's going to be the main villain, which I don't think anybody thinks that. So he's going to be this bull in a china shop that everybody's going to enjoy unless they screw it up. And if everybody enjoys it and he's the main draw for this, he's going to be in everything. And suddenly, instead of Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman being the main driver, they're going to be dropping Lobo in just about everything, because he's going to start making money for them. Because I'm telling you, this guy in 2018, Jeremy Johns made a video about when it was announced that Jason Momoa was going to be Aquaman. He said, when I heard Jason Momoa was cast in a DC movie, I immediately thought, well, sure, Lobo.
Lobo, everybody thought that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets, just like everybody else who thought that, Jeremy Johns gets a profit star. But he's so perfect for this role. And because he's perfect for it, he's going to because he used to collect the Lobo comics, he said. So he's familiar with the character. He loves the character. He's wanted this character. And that's going to come out in his performance. You mark my words, he'll be the best part of that movie, and they're going to fast track the Lobo solo movie, and then you're not going to get him out of any of the DCU movies. He's going to become the new shiny thing that they just cram into everything. So
it's funny you compare him to Deadpool, because he, even like Deadpool used to be, he's a bounty hunter, right?
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, so that's what He's not a villain and he's not a hero. He is for Lobo, like he is whoever's paying the highest. That's what he's for,
right? Right, exactly. And he's really powerful. He has the ability to regenerate. Which I don't know why he has the ability to regenerate, because he's also invulnerable. I saw those two things listed together and listing his powers. I'm like, well, one.
I didn't know he could regenerate.
You don't need one. If you're invulnerable, you don't need to regenerate.
Don't we all kind of regenerate?
But anyway, I've only seen him as being invulnerable, and you just cannot kill the guy. And he's incredibly strong, like almost as strong as Superman, but not as strong. And that's going to make him, as an anti-hero, somebody that this is who Dwayne Johnson fancied himself as going to be. And that's why he kept squinting his eyes and whispering the what would he say? The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change, or something cheesy like that. And
who did that?
Dwayne Johnson. Go.
No. Dwayne Johnson has gotten less cool as time has gone on. I'm sorry.
And it yeah. We'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, I really think that Lobo's going to be who Dwayne Johnson thought Black Adam was going to be. He wanted Black Adam to be in everything, to be able to fight the good guys because he's an anti-hero, but also fight the bad guys because he still sticks up for the little people, sort of. But that's who they're gonna make Lobo, and it'll probably succeed. But hey, Zack Snyder was handed Superman, the first superhero. I don't care who he was the first. He's handed the mythos of Superman and a great take on it, and he still screwed it up. And he was handed, Justice League and Batman and all that, and things looked good somewhat, but it was anyway.
Good
we
action
won't get into
scenes.
that.
That's about it.
Terrible
storytelling. I mean,
the worst storytelling.
A clinic on how not to tell a story in a concise manner.
So you can be handed something great and still just crap the bed completely. So, but I have some hope, and it's weird, guys, that because Superman's my superhero. Hands down, full stop. I mean, I know the Batman is the biggest one, but right there, Superman the movie. Superman's my, primary favorite hero. But I just think this is going to be something that takes off more than even Superman.
Yeah. Here's a question. Do y'all think that he will be he will physically play the role, or do you think it will be CGI?
Taylor.
A mixture.
A mixture.
I think he'll get
Avatar.
No, but they'll enhancing him because even in the last Thor movie.
Oh yeah, he was enhanced.
In the last
he was
Thor,
enhanced.
He was enhanced. But he was also. I mean, literally, that's what they did to Natalie Portman in the movie. Her arms did not look like the movie. They used CGI to make her muscular. So to Taylor's point, he could get super jacked in the gym, and then they could just enhance that.
He is 45.
Well, that's what steroids are for.
Yeah, but I mean, how
he's
long
going to go on a hard cycle, bro?
How long can these movies these days, dude? When
they're taking years off their life.
Not just that, but they're taking years to do it. So they're taking, 5, 6, 7 years to make some of these movies, and these actors are almost a decade older. At the end of the movies, dude, Robert Pattinson he's pushing 40.
Right.
And
exactly.
there's no criticism. I'm just saying they're taking too long to make these movies, and these guys are aging out really fast, and you're not going to be able to get 3, 4, 5 movies out of them unless you're just de-aging them.
Or just following their age.
I mean, maybe, but they're not supposed to age. Lobo doesn't age.
Right.
Batman ages, but Lobo doesn't age. Superman isn't supposed to age. I saw the last scene for Superman and Lois. I don't really understand that.
It makes sense. It makes sense when you really find out why. But
okay. I won't go there.
Yeah. Because we don't want a bunny trail and turn this. But because I want a bunny trail. But it is, to that point, it is super funny that one of the reasons that James Gunn gave that he got rid of Henry Cavill is his age, and they had a 10-year plan. And by the time they got to the end of that 10-year plan, Henry Cavill would be way too old to be Superman. But now they're bringing in a guy that's 45 to play Lobo across a number of movies, unless he does nothing else for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Or he's CGI, because
yeah. Because he could
if
just
he's
go in
like
there
a
and-
Hulk,
and
like the Hulk, or think about Smart Hulk or Genius Hulk or whatever, Professor Hulk. That's what he's called. Excuse me, Professor Hulk. That it's that kind of that size of a character, but Lobo. You know, if they
Yeah,
they
and
could,
they may do
could
that.
yeah.
They better guarantee that the fact that Supergirl is going to be the first thing that he's in.
I
That's a
am
big
not hip
gamble,
on
man.
who they have playing Supergirl. By the way, she is
let's-
not. I'm sorry. I don't know her as an actress, but I don't know why we have to keep casting these.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you doing? What are you doing, Devin?
these people that
I don't want to have
the
to
guy.
edit this
So
a
no,
ton.
no, it's not fair because the guys they get these classic looking dudes and they get on steroid cycles and that's a soapbox of mine. These are, they're setting unrealistic standards. Now, actually, David Cornsweet, he may not have gotten on roids. He just may have eaten his Wheaties and lifted hard because he only put on. He was already a fit dude who just looks like
Yeah,
he
he's
just
young,
bulked
too.
up. Yeah, and he just bulked up. He's not like Chris Hemsworth. I put on 40 pounds of muscles in 6 days.
In my mid 40s. No, you didn't, sir.
No, you
No,
didn't.
sir.
Not naturally.
You did not. You did
And now
not.
you see him off season, and he's like a normal fit dude.
Well, sure. Yeah.
But I digress. But when they cast some of these women, they cast like a unique looking person and not a classic looking individual that you would picture when you think about the character. I don't know. You know what? I may be sticking my foot in my mouth and I may go into the other room and finish my other foot. But you know what? It's just true. Look at who they cast for the superheroes and look who they're casting for the women in the universe.
I agree. I do. I mean, I feel like they got it right with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, even though she's
out.
not going to be. Yeah, I know that when I'm talking about back, but that's the other thing. Speaking of her being out, this kind of puts a nail in the coffin that anybody from the Zack Snyder universe is still canon. I don't think there's anybody that. They may try to shoehorn
Ezra
Harley
Miller.
Quinn. There's
I looked
there's
up,
no way.
I googled it. I don't know how accurate it is. It says Shazam is still canon.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's just the AI overview that Google says.
Oh,
This is a DCEU, right?
no, this is just DCU.
DCU.
now.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me.
EU is the Zack Snyder debacle.
Okay, I said I don't know.
That's okay.
Suicide
Look.
Squad and Peacemaker. That's
We're
all
just
it says.
dudes. We are.
We make mistakes too, okay?
The only reason
Not
I know
a
this
ton.
this
A
much
lot.
about this is because of the internet and
Thank you,
Wikipedia and YouTube. You can
We-
find out a ton on a 5-minute YouTube video.
Our nerddom goes as far as the internet can take us because look, I just happen to have it sitting right here. This is it. This is how deep my knowledge of current comic books goes.
Ooh,
It's a collection of Superman stories from the 70s, and I've got actually back here a big omnibus of World's Finest from the Silver Age, from the actually maybe even some of the Golden Age, but back in the 40s and 50s and 60s when Superman and Batman and Robin would be together. I've got a big collection of those. I haven't read a recent comic in I don't know how long. And the thing is, there's a ton of characters out there that I've never read. I've never read a Lobo comic. I have very light knowledge of him, and most of my knowledge is from the Bruce Timm kind of universe that
I
he
think
created.
a lot of people's are honestly. There's a lot
with
of
Brad
us that-
Garrett doing his voice from
Yeah,
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people's interaction with these characters over the last 20 years is the Bruce Timm stuff. Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, I mean, they have carried DC into the millennial generation better than anybody has. And
It's why Kevin Conroy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that your point is why Kevin Conroy is still lauded as one of the quintessential Batman actors, even though he never put on a Batman costume.
Yeah,
he
and
just
you go back
voiced
and
shaky animation.
Yeah, you go back and you listen, and even the new Bruce Timm stuff, it doesn't hold up because the voice
doesn't
acting is
carry the
one
same.
note, and you start to miss those inflections that you're like, oh man, he actually did do a good job of conveying a lot. Even when he changed into a darker, with the New Adventures and into the Justice League,
favorite.
he still conveyed a lot of emotion. And in the Arkham games, I mean, that may be some of his best.
Yeah.
I don't like the Arkham Batman because I don't like a super armored Batman.
Me either.
That's a hot
Hate
take.
it.
Yeah, it's a hot take. I know most people
another
like
video.
that. But as far as his voice acting, I mean, he crushed it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
but I do think that James Gunn is pulling from a lot of those Bruce Timm era, cartoons and stuff, and building that kind of Justice League. It seems that way.
I think he is too. I'm moderately hopeful. I'm still very cautious about everything James Gunn is doing, and I won't know how I truly feel until after July 11th when I see Superman. Because Creature Commandos has done zero to fill me with confidence. But anyway, I think I've said all I'm gonna say about Lobo. Anything else you guys want to cover on this related to this?
No, I'm excited to see what Jason Momoa played the part that he was literally born
meant to play. Yeah,
he almost played it in Game of Thrones, basically.
Yeah. He's been flirting with this role in almost everything, this is who he was meant to be. I'm excited. Taylor, anything else from you?
Nope. I agree. I'm excited to see it. I need to go back and watch everything leading up to it and get caught up. But
thankfully, about this universe, there's really there's nothing that truly sets the universe up yet. I think James Gunn has said that Superman that comes out in July is really the start, the true start of it all. Mm-hmm. So we're right here at the beginning. You're coming in at the right time, which is the beginning. So I think this is let's be honest. The three of us, we stay aware of this, but I would say that while we are more into the nerd culture than like say my wife is, I'm more casual than some of your other YouTubers.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the perspective that we bring. These guys got online right after putting their kids to bed. So
Literally.
But I'm still passionate about it because I grew up I grew up on the stuff, So
that's
I don't want you to screw it up, James Gunn.
You better not. I mean, look.
Don't make it woke.
Just these.
Come on, just be
remember
neutral.
how successful these were? I'm not saying you have to make these again, but they didn't tell anybody what they should or shouldn't be or think.
Yeah.
They were just Batman and Superman. Just
beating up bad guys.
Just do that. And it'll be great.
Do a better Lex Luthor than Gene Hackman, though. I'm gonna keep pulling that thread.
Well, I'm ready to get off now. And see. No. Hey, what do you think about this? Comment below. Let us know. I cannot stop saying it that way because I've watched so many Jeremy Johns videos because he always says that. Comment below. Let me know. But look, what do you think about Jason Momoa being this character? Was there somebody else that you might have wanted to see in this character? I can't, because I would love to hear that because I can't imagine anybody else. And does this make you think that they're moving in the right direction, even though they are putting it in a Supergirl movie? And I'm just not interested in a Supergirl movie. I'm sorry.
People will that's why they're putting it in a Supergirl movie.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point because they're just like, boy, we are. This
Need
is
something.
anyway. Yeah.
Also, who do you think would be a good Aquaman
Yeah.
or any superhero in the DCU?
Who's your casting for James Gunn's DCU that hasn't been cast yet? Who should be the next Batman? Do you want to see Grant Gustin come in and be Flash and put the Ezra Miller thing? Just leave it behind us.
I think he could do a good job.
There's been some,
I think Grant Gustin could do a good job.
I do too. There's been some rumblings about that, but I'm going to look into it more before we talk about it. But I personally think that would be fun. But if you're interested in this, what are your casting ideas? What do you think about Jason Momoa in this role? In any case, let us know below. And also, hey, Happy New Year.
Happy
New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm
New Year
Uncle.
to me.
That's Devin. That's Taylor. We're the dudes. We'll see you next time.
See ya. Play that music.
Yeah.